Yo, yo. I know this might look weird for the average viewer of my channel. My channel is a messy mix of code reviews, of gaming, and this will be the cybersecurity part. If you read the description of my channel, you'll see that it is a mess, or literally a messy mix of gaming development and cybersecurity. Well, here's the cybersecurity part. What I've been doing is I've been studying PortSwigger's PSCP, which is essentially PortSwigger Certified Practitioner, in order to get the certificate and become a semi-certified ethical hacker and bug bounty researcher, or like bug bounty hunter. So I've been solving these labs, and the way I've been doing that is I have a GitHub lab. I'm going to leave the link to this in the description. I meant the GitHub repo, not a lab, sorry. So I have a GitHub repo that I've been going through like multiple labs and then just doing a write-up as I progress through the labs. So while I am blindly solving the labs, I would do a write-up in order to break down my thought process. And while doing that, I also include any scripts that I used in order to solve this lab. So we're gonna do one together because I thought like that would be fun content. I guess so. I hope so. In order to showcase the thought process in actual while we're doing it. So I guess we are going to start with, where is it? Oh, there we go. So we're going to start with this lab. It's lab 47 out of 55. I know this is not a playlist. It's not a series. I'm just putting out this video for the first time in order to see if you would like it or not. And if you do, please give a like write a comment. Let me know if the format is bad. What you would like to see better, done better. And we can take it from there. My channel is brand new, and I would like to make it bigger and make it more useful. Why I'm doing this? Because I learned from YouTube and from the internet almost for free. And I do want to give back to the community as much as I took from the community. That'll probably be too hard because I learned a lot, and I mean a lot of things from YouTube and from the community for free. So I'm just trying to do my part. So I would feel better even if these videos get no views. I will still feel better that I tried to give back to the community, even if it's pointless. Anyway, I'm gonna move GitHub away, and we are going to start by creating a new folder right here. It is 47. Wait, 47, and my channel is 47. That was not intentional. That's cool though. Make a new folder here, 47, and then brute force password, or actually just copy this to keep the exact same format. What's going on here? So make it all lowercase and then add dashes just to keep it the exact same format. Okay. Then in this folder, let's add a readme, and then we are going to start by adding the lab name and the lab link, because that's what I've been doing so far. And then we're just gonna add a thought process. My first lab while recording a YouTube video. Awesome. I wrote it wrong. Awesome. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so our thought process is, well, let's start by actually reading the lab. So the lab says password brute force via password change. So I'm guessing the password change functionality makes it vulnerable to brute force attacks. Okay. To solve this lab, use the list of candidate passwords to brute force Carlos's account and access his My Account page. Okay. So immediately, just by reading this, I'm starting to formulate a plan. It looks like we could reset the password of our own account while we are logged in because we have credentials here. But this could be vulnerable that we could potentially try to reset the password or change the password, but not for our own account, but rather for Carlos's account. So I'm guessing that there will be enter your current password, and then if the current password is wrong, the system is going to tell us that the password is wrong, And then we can just keep trying to reset the password or to change the password until we actually get a success. So that means it is actually vulnerable to brute force. But maybe the login itself is protected against brute force by like locking the account or banning your IP or something. But then looks like the password change is vulnerable. And this is a really good practice for real life, because as a developer, you might protect your login thinking this is the only way that you could like basically protect accounts from being brute forced. But again, you would forget something like the actual password change, especially if it is done the same way that I think it is. By the way, this is my first time doing this lab. This is blind. So we'll be walking through together what we're doing here, which is cool. If you don't know, I have Burp Suite here already set up. Burp Suite, I'm using the community edition, so this is completely free. Also, I have Foxy Proxy here, and I have set up Perp as eProxy. So whenever I select Perp here as the proxy, I can see that all the traffic that goes from Google Chrome in my in my Burp Suite through Foxy Proxy. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the lab ID and then add it as a filter here, so I don't see all the noise. I just see the traffic that is coming from my lab. So we're going to expand this, make sure we are good to go. Okay, I don't need all of these. Let's just clear history. This is all just noise, and then let's log in. I already know the username and password, which is right here. Okay, so we have an email we don't care about, and then we have a current password, new password, new password. Okay, first of all, let's enter a faulty password. So I'm just going to enter test, test, test into all three. Change password, and we logged out for some reason. Okay, let's see what happens here. I'm going to order this descending. So that way we actually see the my account change password request, and then it says winner current password test, new password 1 is test, new password 2 is test, and then the current password is wrong, yet it just signed me out when it did so. So our username is winner. I'm gonna try test just to try to log in. It should fail. You made too many incorrect login attempts. Please try again in 1 minute. Okay, so just immediately it blocks you when you're trying to log in with the wrong password. Okay, so we're gonna try to log in using the correct credentials, which it lets us in. Perfect. And then the current password. Okay, let's do a correct one. So I'm gonna write my password, but I'm gonna write Peter in all three. Aha, okay, so it says password changed successfully. Okay. Okay. So here we actually got a 200. And then could not connect to browser. Okay. So basically we got a 200 response. But when it was in like unsuccessful, we got a redirect response, which is a 302 response. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I see. So if the password is correct, then that means we will get a 200, and this is what we could look for in our attempt to change this. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, we're gonna change this to Carlos, and then the current password, I'm just gonna leave it as Peter and then make it all Peter. This should be wrong. We're gonna get 302. Okay. So it does not block us. What I'm testing here is that I'm seeing if it's gonna block us or sign us out, but it doesn't look like it. So essentially what we could do is just send this to intruder now. And then in intruder, let's go grab the candidate passwords list. Can copy this, whoops. Copy and then paste here. There we go. Okay, so we have all of these, and then the password here, and then the new password could be Peter. I don't care. So we're gonna see. We're gonna leave it at Peter, and then we're gonna start the attack. So what we're doing is we're attempting to change the password of Carlos to Peter, by going through and brute forcing our way in the change password. We're gonna filter by or sort by status code because we're looking for a 200 status code here. Now, there is a possibility that it actually signs us out every time we actually get the password wrong. So that way it's always going to redirect to 302 or like going to redirect to login because we're essentially not logged in. So it could be detecting that the session that we're sending in the request is invalid, like this session right here. We have two sessions for some reason, I don't know why, which is interesting. But it could detect that these sessions are incorrect and this user is not logged in even. So they just redirect us back to the login without even processing the password reset request. So I guess to confirm this, we're gonna wait for the 100 requests here to finish. While we're waiting, let's write our thought process. I immediately thought, or given the lab's name, title, and the description, I immediately logged into my account and reset my password. I found that entering the wrong password causes E302 redirect back to /login, which means that if we try to reset the password for actually let's just leave it at there, which is the hint that we can use to know that the current password we entered is wrong. I also noticed that the reset password, I'm just checking here if we're getting E200. So far, nothing. Should be at the top because we're sorting by status code, which could mean that we are actually correct about the session not being logged in, which probably means that we will need to log in every single time after a failed brute force or after a failed like password attempt. Okay, final one. Okay, so we tried all 100 passwords and then we can see that they all are 302. Okay, so that means what we probably need to do is that we will need to log in I'm just gonna include the request here that we are sending to the repeater, but then we're gonna change the username here to our username. So notice we have two session cookies. Weird. I want to test something actually. What if we just remove one of these sessions? We get a 302. Okay. If I delete this session and just delete the cookie header, we get a set session, but it's only one session though. Why did we have two? I don't understand. So I guess we could just copy this and then, okay, so we're not setting the session anymore, but we are getting a 302. Question is, can we reset our own password in this state? We cannot. Okay. We cannot. So that means we need to actually do a successful login, which we could grab from our from here. Let's send it to the repeater, and then we could do a login. We get a session here. We paste that session in, we do this, and then we get a 200, another 200, but that's because this is correct, right? And then if we do Carlos, okay, we can see it's a new session every time. Yeah, so that means this session is probably logged in. So logged out, I mean. So if I bring it back to Wiener, I still get a 302. Okay. So yeah, there is no other way except just hitting or sending a request to the change password. And then if the status code is 302, then that means we got it wrong. We log in again to our own account, and then we set the like we resend the change password with the new password and so on. Okay, I'm gonna automate this actually doing a script. I'm going to do a PHP script. If you know me, I'm using Python and PHP mainly, but I do love PHP more. So if I can do it in PHP, why I love PHP more? One, because it's my day-to-day job. I use PHP a lot in my day-to-day. The second reason is that it is the first language that landed me a job. And so PHP has a special place in my heart. So I'm going to just be using PHP here. But we can easily replicate it in Python. Maybe I'll do that like off video. And then I could just replicate the script using Python instead of PHP. But for now, so brute force password change the PHP. Okay. So the very first thing we're gonna do is grab passwords, and then it's just going to be a list of passwords. I think we have it in our. Oh, I said PHP and I just did Python. Okay, never mind. So we have a bunch of strings here. And there we go. Okay. So we have a list of passwords here that we are going to do or loop through. Then I'm going to need a function called login. Now, the login function is essentially what it's going to do is it's going to send a post request. So curl is going to be curl init. And then the URL is going to be, we have AI here helping us, which is great. Just autofilling is wonderful. We'll grab the login. And then return transfer is true, of course. And then the post is true. Why is value never read? It's being read right here. What is it this guy talking about? Or is it because there's an error? Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so we need the data here. So the data, the post field is going to be, username is going to be Wiener, and the password is going to be Peter. I don't think we need to accept, like, in case they change it in the future. And then we could simply just change it here. Okay, I love like autofilling by AI. It's pretty good. So then we have this. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to print our, not passwords, sorry. I'm going to print our the login function. And then let's just see. We are in here, authentication, and then we are in 47. PHP brute force, and then what are we gonna get? Nothing. Lovely stuff. Absolutely wonderful. Why is that? Why is that? We have the URL here set correctly to login. We're sending a post request. The post fields is this. We are executing, and then we are returning the response. Let's do a var dump of response. Sorry, of login. String, just an empty string. Okay. So what about the headers? Can we get the headers as well? Curl get info. I actually don't remember how we can get the headers from curl. It's been so long since I used curl. I'd rather you just use the HTTP the HTTP library by Guzzle. But if we can just var dump headers, what are we getting over here? So we are getting a lot of headers. This is cool. So the headers here is essentially this. And then what we could do is just return response and then, not the password, headers. Oops, it deleted it. Okay. So here we can do just login is going to be login. And then here we could just var dump this. So we're going to get a bunch of details about the login. This is cool. So effective method is post. We have this. I'm looking for the status HTTP code. Okay. So the HTTP code is going to be login headers HTTP code. Lovely stuff. So this is cool. I actually don't need all of these. The only thing that I would need from login is just the so I'm gonna return here a string, and I just need the session cookie, honestly. The thing that I would need from here is just the cookie. There is no cookie. Let's see if AI can help us here. So session cookie is going to headers set cookie null. I don't see in the headers though a set cookie here. So transfer size, download size, upload content, redirect URL, IP, port, local IP, HTTP version, protocol, scheme, connect time. Okay, so I do not see here. Let's Google it. So curl get cookie of response PHP. Stack Overflow, or good old Stack Overflow. I could use Claude, but I don't want to like use tokens for this. So we could use curl opt, it seems, and then header is true. And then how is it gonna look like? Must return a value of string, null return. That's okay. Could just do this just to get it to work, and then we can var dump response and headers just to see what we have. Trying to access offset and null. That's okay for now. Ah, there we go. So we actually got the set cookie string in the response, right? And then what we could do is essentially just have HTTP parse headers and then off the response. And then this is a function that I could copy from oh, it's a PECL extension. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. I just yoink this off of... What the heck? I am yoinking code off of Stack Overflow. This is, by the way, like real life. This is real life coding, by the way. Okay, awesome. We actually got the session cookie right here. Beautiful. So what we could do is simply just get var_dom session, and there we go. So we could just return this. Like that. And then I don't think that there would be a situation where it does not return a session. And let's actually grab, or first of all, let's actually make sure that we can, what the heck? All I want to do is do this. I just wanted to grab the attribution here in order to put it in the request. So now, okay, so yeah, this cookies code is coming from Stack Overflow. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so we actually don't need all of these now. So what we could do is just session cookie, and then we are going to do that, and then for each passwords as password, and then we're going to do a curl init. How the heck did it get my account change password here? Wow. Okay. So return transfer, and then here current password. So I'm going to change this to Peter. So we're gonna want to hack the password to Peter, and then we need to get the username as well. So username is going to be Carlos. This is the guy we're trying to hack. So what we want here is actually not this. We want the headers. And then we want to get the curl get info of curl. And then the status code. So here, and then we're going to do a password found. And we're going to do a break. Awesome. So this looks good to me. So we're attacking this, we're doing this, and then if here, we're just gonna do a session cookie, and then we're gonna make it equal to login again. So that way, we can just get the cookie and then make it session and equals to the new session cookie that we're gonna do after login. Beautiful. Let's brute force. One more thing that I'm gonna do actually is that I'm just going to echo tried password this. Let's also do index, and then passwords count. Gonna do count password. So then tried password index out of password count. Lovely stuff. And then something that I learned from experience that I'm gonna let you know about at the end of this video is adding trim here, which removes all white space, and also on Windows is going to save you a lot of trouble. This trim here is very important. I'm gonna add a link to a write-up to a previous lab that I did, which is gonna explain this in much more detail. All right, moment of the truth. Let's actually run it. Brute force. 0 out of 100. Okay, maybe we wanna fix that. But let's see, we're actually sending everything, which is cool. And now we wait the moment of the truth. Superman. Maybe we could do this much better by not making it like synchronous and actually implementing some processes to make this asynchronous. Or sorry, multi-threaded, I guess is the correct word here, not asynchronous. So we could just do multiple requests. Oh, we got the password, sunshine. Okay. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, I'm excited. Let's log in, grab the session here, replace the session here, make it, whoops, make it Carlos. The current password is sunshine. And the new password is Peter. Boom. Okay. It did not work. Why is that? Sunshine. Okay. Let's log in again, I guess. Let's grab the session. Set the session. Current password Sunshine. What the hell? Why is it not working now? Did I do something wrong? Well, you know what? Let's just go to my account and then log in with Carlos, and then Peter. Okay, so it did not work. So what we're doing here is that we are still sending the change password. So that means if Carlos's password was Sunshine, it should have changed to Peter, and we should be able to enter Carlos's account with Peter. But apparently it is not working for some reason. Why is that? What? Did I enter the wrong thing? I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, what we're doing here is very simple actually. We actually reset the password, but then here we are saying password found, which is a bit confusing. So we're gonna say Carlos's password was reset successfully. The password, or the old password, is password. Then password is Peter. That's it. So let's remove the dot here. And then let's do an OR here just to make sure that the dot is not included in the, so you don't think it's part of the password essentially. So yeah, this is we successfully got it. We hacked it. If I give it a refresh here, that's solved. I'm not sure why it did not log in the first time. Like why? Oh, I understand now. That's because we already changed the password. It should not be Sunshine. It should be Peter here. Because I'm not logged in. Let's log in again. I'm gonna grab the session here. This is just to prove a point and to myself actually. So here, this is the correct session and this is the correct password now. It's actually Peter. So I'm gonna send this and yeah, I get a 200 now. So now we changed the password from Peter to Peter. Yeah, that does not make sense, but it still worked. We got a 200. So my theory is correct. This is why we could not log in the first time. Now, I do not know why when I tried to log in using the form here, it did not work first time. My only conclusion is that, wait, we can actually check on Burp Suite. I was gonna say that I probably entered the wrong password, like a typo, but I wanna see. Well, it says Carlos Peter here. It looks correct to me. Maybe because I was already blocked. Like maybe the account was already like blocked and that's why I just could not log in then, and then the timer reset and I could log in after. Maybe that's my hypothesis right now. But anyway, we got the lab solved. Now I'm gonna continue the video simply just recording my write-up. If you don't care about this write-up and you don't want to see me like basically writing our session together, you can close the video. Thank you so much for watching till this point. Please like, subscribe, give me some comments, positive or negative. I want some constructive criticism so that I could make these videos much better for you guys, and I'm having fun doing them. So I hope you're having as much fun as me doing that. But if you're gonna keep watching, you're awesome. I love you. Let's keep writing the things here. Turns out the two sessions are unrelated and was perhaps just a weird something that I don't know. Nevertheless, not what we are looking for. A heads up, I already solved the lab by this point on video, which I'll be posting the URL to at the end of this write-up when the video has been uploaded to YouTube. Now, going through my thoughts again, I tried to change the password by changing the username field in the above request, but this caused a 302 response, which means that, and a logout. This means that every time that we use an incorrect password or an incorrect current password value, we actually get logged out from the account, but we don't actually get locked out of the account. So let's add this as a new point. So simply, we can just re-log in, grab the new session from the new login, and attempt to change the password again. To achieve this, I simply created a PHP script and struggled a bit since I am super rusty in curl, in pure curl in PHP. This is clearly shown in the YouTube video. So now we're back to the script. Okay, so the PHP script, I simply created a PHP script that automated the process of sending a change password request and then logging in if we get a 302, or if, to be more precise, if we don't get a 200 response back, which means we probably got the 302 redirect response, which also logged us out. Let's remove the comma here. The script is made in PHP because of biased reasons. This will actually be a hook for people to watch the video. Yep, 100%. The final request to reset the password, the final request form to reset the password is, you can view the file, view the script here in this folder next to this README. Can I give it a link? The answer is yeah, like that. Now we can just copy the request from the repeater, which is the change password. Boom. That's it. This request resets the password for Carlos to be Peter, the same as our account. then we can simply log in using Carlos Peter, and this will solve the lab immediately. Boom. We got it. We solved the lab. We wrote the write-up. Add lab number 47 to just solve lab number 47. Brute force password change, or through password change. Synchronize, which is going to push it. Going to push it to GitHub, our repo. I'm going to leave a link to the repo in the description, and then I'm going to leave a link to the YouTube video in the repo, so that way they link to each other, and hopefully I get more views either from GitHub or from YouTube to GitHub, in case you want to go through the previous labs, going through a write-up that is super casual like that. And yeah, if you watched till this part, thank you so much. I love you. Please leave a comment letting me know if you like these videos or not. Leave a like and subscribe for future videos like these, and more messy videos like me giving my unbiased, useless opinion, and me just playing video games, and we'll be rocking together. Thank you. Have a great day. See ya.